Dylan Envoy Hannon is the only player who's never won a championship on the Chicago Huntsmen's roster. But in a span of just 6 weeks, he has become one of the most impactful players on the team, standing out alongside legends like Scump, Formal, Arcites, and Gunless. This is the story of how Envoy went from an arrogant amateur to dominating on one of the best Call of Duty teams in the world.
Envoy continues 7 in a row, 21 and 10. The knife is out from Envoy, able to cut down Crim.
Envoy's eating now. Envoy's eating now. Even the hip fire going through as the streak will end at 8. Just 37 more points needed for Huntsmen to close out this map.
They're always a step ahead. And a lot of that is due to Envoy. I feel like his playstyle is sort of built around that to make the right play, to try to get those spawns.
Oh, look at his time at the hard point right now. It was 2.5 minutes.
And then when they need a break, it's like Scump and Envoy. They're just able to find their way in, just weasel their way through, and they're able to pick up those multi-kills.
Born in 2000, Envoy started playing Call of Duty at the age of 5. Starting from COD 2, the now 20-year-old proved himself to be a very talented FPS player from a very young age. He made his competitive debut at the age of 15 during the Advanced Warfare season for Geared 4 Gaming. Envoy was thrown straight into the 2015 MLG Pro League Season 3 relegations, meaning his offline debut came against Optic Nation, featuring former world champion Miracles. He'd later sum up his professional debut with a plain, "It did not go well." And that became the norm for Envoy's career early on. But with a bit of luck and even more flair on S&D, Envoy was picked up by Team Justice alongside Assault, Spacely and Kenny, and went on to place an impressive 56th at the MLG World Finals in 2015.
Some of it is luck of draw. Like when I got the team with Space, it was because Study left their team 2 days before the event, and I got they asked to pick up my teammate, but instead my teammate was like, "You need a sub player, you should take Dylan instead." And it's like crazy looking back at that and saying that's what started it all.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing for the young Slayer. His competitive career was cut short just as he was starting to get noticed. For the following season, Black Ops 3, an age rule was applied to the entire circuit, requiring players to be 18 to compete at the highest level. After his biggest result at a major event, the 15-year-old was looking at nearly 3 years before he would be able to return to the pro circuit. Envoy spent this time away from the competitive scene playing Counter-Strike and even started keyboarding, using a mouse and keyboard to play on console on Call of Duty. It'd be an understatement to say that the youngster was outspoken. Envoy made his fair share of questionable decisions and quickly earned a reputation for being somewhat immature and too forthright.
I'm the best. I'm literally the best. I did not miss a bullet that round.
Envoy would later be caught streaming himself using a mouse and keyboard during wagers and was banned from sites for breaking the rules. But he didn't seem to care at the time, as he explained on the Eavesdrop podcast with Chicago Huntsmen CEO Hex.
I thought it was just funny, and it was just, in the moment I was like, I'm gonna do it, it, why not? And then they ended up banning me. I got banned 6 or 7 times for it. Yeah. But those bans go away in a couple months, so.
But once Envoy turned 18, when he could turn his full attention back to competing, he slowly started to grind his way back to the top in the World War II season. It was Black Ops 4 though that eventually propelled Envoy into the spotlight. Playing under Midnight Esports, Envoy's squad swept through the CWL Pro League qualifier in January 2019, securing their place without dropping a series. Envoy's chance was almost taken away from him again, however, when Midnight replaced almost the entire roster that actually won the Pro League spot. Fortunately, Envoy found himself a new home with Gen G, a move that would ultimately prove to be a blessing. Under Gen G, Envoy managed a second place at both CWL Anaheim in June 2019 and the CWL Pro League playoffs in Miami in August, where the 19-year-old put on the performances of his life. His showings during the Black Ops 4 season even earned him a Rookie of the Year nomination at the Esports Awards.
You have to replay map 1 if you're Gen G. You take that, you go to a map 2, search and destroy, you dominate there, and now we're E-United, destroyed you. You go down 0-2, and you bring it back with back-to-back rounds. That is a 3-0 in our first best of 5.
With the arrival of Modern Warfare came the new franchise system for 2020, which meant one of the biggest roster shakeups in Call of Duty history. Hot off the back of a successful Black Ops 4 season, Envoy was a valuable commodity. So valuable, in fact, that he landed himself a place on one of the most stacked new rosters, Chicago Huntsmen. Backed by former Optic CEO Hex, and featuring legendary players like Scump, Formal, Arcites and Gunless, the Huntsmen were an immediate favourite, both competitively and with the fans. Amongst such giants, Envoy stands out as by far the least accomplished, and yet was actually at the very centre of the roster's formation. Looking at Chicago lineup, most would assume the team was built around Scump and Formal, two of the most decorated Call of Duty players of all time, who reunited for the 2020 season after a historical fallout on the Optic Gaming roster. Envoy, however, revealed how the roster was actually assembled. In fact, it was him and Arcites that decided to sell themselves as a package deal. Scump and Formal came onto the roster much later on.
Me and like Alec, we kind of like talked to each other beginning of the offseason. We were gonna like shop ourselves around as like a duo or whatever, and because it was just good to stick with someone, you know, like because if you have two, it's obviously more impactful. Like if you're gonna like pair with like a 2 and a 3 or whatever. I think that's basically what happened. It was me, Pierce, and Alec, and then we came to Seth and Matt or whatever, and that was that. Off season was weird. I don't know. You guys, I think like Seth and Matt just, I don't know why, or like what was going on with your guys' situation, but like they kind of came into it at the very end of it. So it was just like a split-second decision, and we kind of just full sent it and went here.
Nevertheless, Envoy's presence on such a squad put a new kind of pressure on him. He was under the spotlight like never before, and the question would inevitably be asked, was he really good enough to be in this team? Does he have what it takes to stand out? Joining the Huntsmen meant stepping up a whole new level, and Envoy himself was more than aware of it.
I kind of get like the little brother feel. I don't know. It's definitely a different aroma. Like going from last year, it was just a team of like a bunch of unknowns that I had, and like we're chasing that championship, right? You know, we're striving to try to get that, and we got second twice. But this year, it's just like it's a whole different like feeling around it. Like these are like champions you're teaming with. You know, like these guys that have done it 20 times, you know, like Seth and Matt have won like a bunch of times. Alex just a world champ last year. Pierce won last year. They all won last year. Yeah. It's just like there's just a different feeling around it for sure, of just like this is a winning caliber team, you know, not that, oh, like if we get lucky, we might win this tournament, you know, like last year we have a good outing this time around. So that's definitely, I like that feeling a bunch.
Fortunately for Envoy, it didn't take him too long to silence the doubters and prove that he was fit enough to be on this winning roster. Although he had a slow start in his debut for Chicago against Dallas Empire, the SMG Slayer quickly found his rhythm in the 3-0 match against Optic Gaming LA, racking up the highest KD on his team on hardpoint.
Envoy trying to stay alive. Can his teammates spawn him? Slasher's trying to hunt him down. He's able to get another kill. But it looks like the Optic Gaming LA team still going to spawn pretty darn close, but now they have to flood through. Envoy continues. What a play from him.
And that's the big thing, though. Even if you don't have those spawns, the fact that you have the momentum inside, you're able to get that presence at the hard point early as Envoy keeps on going. Look how difficult this is now for them to come through. And that's 5 in a row, 6 in a row, as he will finally drop, but the damage has been done. The lead continues to build for Huntsmen.
When the team travelled to London, Envoy became absolutely unstoppable and was one of the key players that helped to secure the event title for his team. By the end of the weekend, he had the joint highest KD on his team alongside Formal, a massive 1.13 across the tournament. Envoy has not only captured the attention of Call of Duty fans, his peers have also recognised the impact he brings to the Huntsmen.
Yeah, Envoy is definitely like the most impactful player on their team. The way he plays the game is just like, it makes it easy for everyone else. So he's really a key factor in their success. So Envoy's he's a big player for them.
No, Dylan is nasty. He's always, last year he was hard to play against. He like is always centered like on everything when he's like coming around like corners. Like he's just really good. He's a really good player.
Envoy was a huge like sleeper pickup for Chicago. He takes routes for them. I'm pretty sure he's their smoke player. He's pretty much like a good, solid all-around player. I think him and Priest are probably the two best in their roles, and they're both really impressive.
Chicago's momentum did take a bit of a hit in Atlanta, however. The team struggled for the first time in the season, only scraping past Toronto Ultra with a 3-2 win in their opening match, and ultimately losing out to Florida Mutineers in the semi-finals. The squad looked distinctly lackluster compared to their earlier showings, and while Envoy put in some spectacular individual performances, including a 41 kill hardpoint and a 9 kill search and destroy that were the key to the 2-map Chicago did win against Florida, he has faced some criticism from fans for clashing with teammates during scrims.
The guy top L that's first there can f***ing OE to Seek because he has faster timing. He has faster timing. You do not need to help the f***ing OE yet because no one spawned yet. That is my f***ing point. You're not getting that.
Yo, Pierce.
Holy
I understand.
Bro, you're so annoying, dude.
It is not the first time Envoy has faced accusations of toxicity, but he was quick to rebuff any suggestion that his attitude may be a problem in the team.
I don't know, because I'm like a strong voice usually in game, and I feel like people think it's kind of like drowned out on this team, which it really isn't.
No.
I feel like I'm like really mature when it comes to that stuff, just being the best teammate I can be. So I mean, we bump heads here and there, but I look at it as we're just arguing for the better of it, you know? Me and Pierce will argue a bit, but like we both know like we have nothing against each other. We're best friends, but we're gonna argue it out and we're gonna figure out a solution. And I think people take it, like you see like Reddit posts about it all the time, like people take it just the wrong way. Like people don't look at it from like a real sports background. People in real sports, like the head coach and like the star player will sit there and scream at each other on the sideline, and then the next day it's nothing of it. You're back to practice, you know? Or even at practice, you know, you gotta talk some out, you gotta argue stuff out. Like, we're men, bro. We're gonna get mad at each other, you know?
Former teammate Major Maniac, who now plays for the Huntsmen's chief rivals Atlanta FaZe, has also cited Envoy's understanding of the game and his willingness to argue his point when necessary as one of his greatest strengths.
I think Dylan's a big preacher, and me and him on Gen G, we were always preaching the right things, and he's always making the consistent right plays. So when it comes to playing a player like that, you know, is like he's going to be first on rotation, or they're going to be early on rotation. They're going to be making those like correct plays on the map. So yeah, like Dylan's a great player, phenomenal dude as well. So.
Former world champion Slasher also claims that the passion a younger player like Envoy brings to a team can actually be one of their greatest strengths, helping to reignite the same passion in the more veteran players.
I think it's big for them, like having a newcomer like that and be as vocal as he is, and like just the passion that these newcomers bring and like the commitment to the game really helps rejuvenate that in like Formal and Seth as well, who've been playing for 10 plus years. So I think that's the biggest thing with new guys.
Envoy does acknowledge that he's grown up a lot since he first started competing at 15 years old.
I'd like to think I'm a much more humbled, mature person than I was before. I think a lot of people will say back in like AW and even like when I was underage until World War II or BO4 that I was a very like immature, like I don't know, just not a good person, right? And I feel like today I'm a much better person than I am back then, and I think it's something I can be proud of. Sitting on Twitter talking just for fun, had nothing else to do, like there was really no point. I was just being a little brat, little kid, and then a couple years went on and I just learned to grow up, and that stuff doesn't even matter.
Every player loves a bit of trash talk. We've seen it between legendary players such as Scump and Crim6, and will continue to see it as long as Call of Duty Esports exists. It's easy to forget just how young Envoy was when he shot into the scene, although we'll never know the full extent of whether his arguments in scrims are truly for the better. Whether you like him or not, the 20-year-old has undoubtedly proved himself on a stage as one of the most impactful Call of Duty players in the league.